Rio Tinto, the world's third largest miner, returning to profit in the second half of 2009. The street likes the numbers, and for more on the results, let's go to London now. CEO Tom Albanese joining us from the London Stock Exchange. Tom, thank you so much for your time this morning. As we mentioned, the market responding well to the results. Would you say the worst is over when it comes to the commodities story and demand is indeed back?
Well, thank you. We had a good year last year, particularly in the second half. The strong second half numbers, both driven by market, production, and costs, have allowed us to have full year, which was above consensus. And again, I want to focus on what we were able to deliver. Strong production numbers, and I think with that, a very, very strong effort on cost reduction. We said we're going to take about 2 years to deliver $2.5 billion of cost savings. We delivered in 1 year $2.6 billion of cost savings. That's very, very strong, and it very much positions our business. What's some uncertainty still in the economy ahead. $1 billion of these savings were in the aluminum sector, and that very much positions very well that business, transforms it for the years ahead. I think we have some of the best aluminum assets in the sector, and we're going to be there for the markets as they recover. And I think overall, as we expect the markets to improve, and we do see room for the markets, but particularly with the continued Chinese growth, we would expect to see, say GDP in China being up 9% this year. It does position us well for our growth projects we'd like to put back in places like iron ore in the Pilbara or copper in Mongolia.
So, Tom, I mean, would you say that the worst is over then as far as commodities, global commodities demand goes?
Well, we saw commodity demand, again, go down to depths during the latter part of 2008 and the first part of 2009. None of us would like to see that again. But I think as we go forward, even with a stronger sort of sector growth in China, we have to be ready for volatility in the years ahead. Again, as you know, the U.S. economies, the European economy still have some structural challenges. So there will be some volatility. I certainly would not like to see, and I wouldn't expect to see a retreat back to what we would have saw last year. We have to position ourselves for some of those, in a near term, some near-term uncertainty. But longer term, the picture is pretty positive.
Tom, you mentioned China. It's been widely reported that 4 of your executives have been detained in the country, arrested in July. They've been indicted on bribery charges. What can you tell us at this point? What do you know?
It was confirmed today that the cases of the 4 detained Rio Tinto employees were transferred over to the legal system in China. This is, as you would understand, a formal process. And as you can imagine, we can't say much more than that, given these formal circumstances.
So you don't know when you'll get these guys back?
Again, we are working to support the families, but there's not much more we can say.
How does this affect, though, the relationship and negotiations with China and negotiating for the next year's iron ore prices, for example?
We continue to see strong demand in virtually all parts of the Chinese market. And as a matter of fact, during 2009, for the first year, China became our largest single market with about 24% of our total business. And I'd say as we speak today, those markets, those businesses that are supporting the Chinese market, particularly iron ore, we've never seen stronger demand.
I want to kind of shift gears and look a little bit to the dividend. I mean, are you going to be able to maintain that going forward?
Well, we've had a long history of progressive dividends, and again, while recognizing the circumstances during 2009, but also recognizing as we reduce our debt, we were able to return to, say, 45-cent per share dividend for the final dividend in 2009. We have provided the market with a guidance that we'd like to continue that moving into 2010.
And Tom, very, very quickly, the joint venture with BHP, can you give us some timing? Do you have any clue on when this thing will be completed officially?
Well, we are working through the regulatory filings in each of the countries that have regulatory authorities in this. We have received, again, over the past few weeks, the official notice from the EC government that they're going to treat this as a joint venture under Section 101, and we'll take it through those individual steps. We've made regulatory filings in a number of the other countries. Again, this is a production-only joint venture. We will be independently marketing our product. We'll have independent views of the market. And I believe this joint venture, besides delivering synergies for our shareholders, will deliver more tons faster.
Tom, we thank you so much for your time. Rio Tinto's CEO, Tom Albanese, right here on Inside Track.